Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, November 18th. You know, we got some good news today. Actual good news in the world. With all the rising prices of things that I've been seeing lately, like gasoline, chicken, bread, inflation's been hitting us pretty hard in this country. And you can't even go to the fast food restaurants and get really anything for a decent price anymore. It's all super expensive. Well, I'm here to tell you folks that today, Thursday, is a special day if you're listening to it right now as this episode is coming out. Because our beloved chain that I think actually symbolizes America, McDonald's, is promoting in certain locations the original Egg McMuffin and selling it for 63 cents. Today only. This is not an ad. This is just an experience, and this is big news. This is actually something that I never thought would ever happen. I mean, could you imagine that? Now, this is being reported by Yahoo News. McDonald's is celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Egg McMuffin and the different ways people eat them by offering the beloved breakfast sandwich for its original price, 63 cents. Now, this can only be done in the app. And, for pickup or whatever, I believe, because, they're also doing this thing where they're promoting, like, other ways you can create your Egg McMuffin. Like, you can put, like, the classic, the egg, the ham, the cheese, and then you can have, like, it looks like a hash brown, a tomato. You can go bunless. You can put the hash browns as buns. Now, this is just, other ways you can customize it. I believe it's just the original one, that's 63 cents. It says here that the 63-cent Egg McMuffin offer will only be available on the McDonald's app during breakfast hours, 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Thursday, November 18th, today. So customers can order the breakfast sandwich and any add-ons for carry-out, drive-through, or dine-in in participating restaurants. So, I mean, you got to do your research right now and get it ready and get ready to go get that 63-cent Egg McMuffin, because that's going to be killer when it comes out or when you can get it. Because, I mean, just, talking about, like, how, how much, food and stuff is more expensive nowadays, and just like remembering how cheap McDonald's and all those places used to be. Remember when they had the dollar menu? You can get a McChicken for $1, a double cheeseburger for, I don't know, like $1.30, a McDouble for $1. And they had the 2 for $5. They had the 2 for $4. And I remember back in the day when they had the sausage Egg McMuffin promotion. I remember like when they first started out with the two for $4. I believe. No, 2 for $3. It was 2 for $3. 2 for $3 sausage Egg McMuffins. And that was like one of the best offers ever, because if you got 2, it was $3, but if you got 1, it was like 3 something. So the logical choice would be to just get 2 just to save some money, and you have an extra sandwich to eat. Now, I mean, maybe that's why everybody's so fat in America, because those prices, you can't really beat it. Right? It's just almost like you're just doing yourself a disfavor or disservice, actually, to not get the extra sandwich for a cheaper price. But then that went to $3.33. I remember that, and I was like, okay, it's a little bit more expensive. And then recently, maybe like last year when I got one, it was like 3 for like 4 something, 3 for $4.50, I think. I was like, okay, these are again like a little too expensive, because they have the same thing. Like you can get like a Big Mac and a quarter pounder for like $6. So like you're telling me that like one of these things is worth $4 when I can get like an actual premium sandwich at McDonald's, like a Big Mac or a quarter pounder for $6, or 2 of them actually. No, one of each. Sorry. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like if you want to check out that McDonald's right now and go get it, I guess it's only for today only. So drive on there, check it out. If you can. I mean, I would, but that's not really my thing though. Like I'm more of a sausage Egg McMuffin type of guy. Egg McMuffin's good though. I enjoy that, but it's just it's not my thing. I prefer the sausage. I'm more of a sausage patty, egg sandwich type of guy. Always have been, and never been a big fan of the bacon either. I just feel like as bacon, breakfast sandwich is just not the ideal way to have. Then not the ideal protein or meat option for a breakfast sandwich. I don't know. I just feel like I mean sausages, bacon just for me is not. I love bacon. Don't get me wrong. Like I enjoy bacon like no other. Like sometimes I'll just like when we have bacon for breakfast, and it's just like we have make a ton of bacon. I just pick at the bacon the rest of the breakfast those hours. Even after you're done eating, you're just like, well, there's bacon left over. I'm gonna eat that because it's always delicious. It's just like it's like meat candy. It's like you keep devouring it and devouring it. Like I mean, that's what I do. I mean, like, and I'm not the one to like eat like so much bacon like in one serving. Like if I have breakfast, like yeah, I'll have like 2 strips of bacon and that's it. With eggs, pancakes, hash browns, whatever like that. I'll settle with that. But if there's leftover bacon, I mean, you can't just help but pick at it. I mean, it's kind of like getting like a candy bowl, a bowl of like M&Ms or something like that. You just keep picking at it. I mean, not saying that it's good for you. It's definitely not that great for you. I mean, it's high fat, high sodium. It's not the best thing that you can eat though, but it tastes good. And that's kind of what drives my food intake is it tastes good. Does it taste good? And I've kind of hit this roadblock in my life now. It's got like a quarter life crisis, actually a little bit more than that, but with food in general. And what that is I used to be a gigantic fan when I was in high school, especially of Chinese food. Big fan. Now, not like really authentic Chinese food, but like American style Chinese food, I guess. I mean, I've been to the restaurant in Los Angeles in the Chinatown. It's like super popular. A lot of celebrities go there. I'm blanking on the name, but and I've had that too, which I would assume is more more authentic than the Chinese food that I can get around where I live at the moment. But anyway, back to that. I just for some reason my palate has completely changed. Chinese food for me is just okay now. Like, remember that bit that Jim Gaffigan said, like, Chinese food is okay, but it never really fills you up? I'm kind of the opposite now. It fills me up, actually, but for me, it just doesn't taste good anymore. I don't know if it's, like, recipes or something, or if my palate's just changing, but I just find it so, if anything, more boring than good, if that makes any sense. Like, I usually get orange chicken, and maybe some sweet and sour pork, maybe if I'm feeling it, and I just feel like it's so boring and kind of bland in my opinion. Like General Tso is better for me because it's got a spice to it, and I typically like a more spicy food anyway. If I could get it, if it's an option, I would get that over like the original or whatever. But I just think that regular orange chicken, regular chow mein, white rice, yeah, it's not my thing anymore. I really used to dig it a lot in high school. And even fried rice, which is, delicious in like other cuisines, like, I guess depending on how you make it, but sometimes if you get like a not very good fried rice, then it's just very depressing. And lately I've been getting that. And I don't know, it's just not really hitting the spot for me. It could be anywhere, local restaurant, the one in LA, Panda Express. I mean, it's just all for me, like, as a whole, not hitting the spot. It's like I almost got to go to China to get actual good Chinese food or something like that. Or, visit friends who's Chinese, to get some good Chinese food. To see what I'm missing out on, because I want to give it another shot. I want to really bad. I feel like for me, I don't know, maybe I'm just tired of the flavor of the ones where I live. I don't know. I'm not sure what is happening, because I used to love it. And that's just kind of where I'm at now with Chinese food. And I've told my friends this all the time. They're kind of like on the ball of like they love Chinese food, which is fine. But I don't know. I wish I could like it again. I really do, because at times it does sound good. Like I would want a nice fried rice, orange chicken, some chow mein, but it just hasn't been doing it for me lately. And like almost to the point like I just don't even want to finish my food. It's like, damn, I used to chow this stuff down when I was younger. I don't know if that's just like, that happens when you get older. Like some foods just don't taste as good as they used to, when you were a kid. Like, I used to put ketchup on steak when I was a small kid. Like, that would be like the flavor enhancer. Now I don't even want to put that shit anywhere besides fries and shit like that. Um, like ketchup's like that condiment that's like made for kids. It just is because it's so sweet. But it's not to say that it doesn't complement foods like fries. It absolutely complements fries. You got the sweetness of the ketchup, the savoriness of the potatoes. It's just they go hand in hand. It's good stuff. Hash browns, same thing. A cheeseburger, right? But I also put like mayonnaise and mustard as well because I enjoy all those flavors and that. But back when I used to put ketchup on steak, man, I don't know what was going through my head. It's like now I can't even imagine that. Now I don't want to imagine that. And you got people who put ketchup on their pizza. It's like, what are you, 5? It's already got pizza sauce on it. That's already potato or tomato enough. That should be enough. But some people still do it like at an advanced stage too. They'll put it on there and be like, oh, it's delicious. And I've tried it a couple times when I was younger, like in high school. Like not like like in senior year. I think maybe like freshman, even in like a junior high. I've tried it before. It's not terrible. But I have no desire to go back to it. I just feel like I enjoy the taste of pizza, how it is. And, I could add ranch to it. I know a lot of people hate doing that, especially like if you're on the East Coast and shit. That ranch is like sacrilegious. Like it's like, it's like a commandment. Thou shalt not put ranch on pizza. I guess you can say that with hot dogs and ketchup over there too. I do that though. I think it's good. If you have ketchup and mustard, I think it's pretty good. But that's just, based, like, I've always known that. It's always been a staple. It's always been like a thing. You want ketchup on that? Yeah, I always just say yes. Now, I used to just be only ketchup guy on hot dogs. But then I remembered how much I liked mustard and how much I like that, I don't know, you can't, it's not really bitter, but it's like a little, sourness, I guess, that mustard gives it a little bit of a bite to it. I enjoy that. Sometimes I'll just put mustard on my sandwiches. Like I'll put, cheese in the meat and just mustard sometimes. If I'm feeling like lazy, you know what I'm saying? Because I enjoy mustard that much, I think. I also enjoy mayo, but, mayo mustard, is a tag team of glory. Like they're like the ultimate tag team of sauces, I think. I mean, you can also say that with like ranch and barbecue sauce as well. But I think that mayonnaise and mustard are just hand in hand are just amazing. Yeah, but I mean, like, that is just, what happens though. I think with everybody. I'm pretty sure everybody's gone through that too. Like, you like one thing when you're this age and the next age you hate it. You're like, why did I even do that? That was disgusting. I should not have eaten like that. It was gross. But, that's also part of like growing up and getting older and experiencing new things. Like I recently got into steak sauce, A1 sauce, and I never used to be like a person to do that, ever. I gotta say, now I don't put it on everything, like every steak. Like a ribeye, I'm gonna keep that off. Like I'm gonna keep steak sauce off of that because I just enjoy the flavor of ribeye, like by itself. It's just so good. If you get a nice one with a lot of fat, a lot of marbling, and you get like a nice medium rare going on, oh, I mean that is just perfection in my eyes. I mean you can't really go wrong with that. Now if I'm eating like a tri-tip or like a lesser cut of meat, I'll dabble with that more often than I used to. I definitely with like tri-tip and stuff like that. I think it just adds like a nice bitterness and a nice bite to it. Like a nice, oh, I'm awake now. Like, I don't know. It's just, I enjoy it more now. I haven't tried horseradish yet. I had it when I was like maybe 13 or 14. Like, I thought it was like sour cream or something. And I took a little, like a little lick of it. And I was like, oh, this is terrible. It's like so bitter and disgusting. And I just remembered I like sworn it off when I was like 14. I'm like, I'm never having that again. Like that's so disgusting. That is, I would never put that on anything. I haven't tried it yet, or since then, so I might actually like it. I know it's very good with prime rib. Like that's where it's like mainly served with. So I might have to give that another shot. And it's kind of like beer too. Like I remember back when I was like 18, 19, I was so anti-drinking back then. I was so like, I can't be caught drinking. I'm committing a cardinal sin. I'm not 21 yet. I shouldn't be drinking. This is illegal. Not to say that I did, but I would be like, yeah, I don't want to try it. I remember like I had like a sip of it, and I was like, yeah, this tastes bad. Like, and I had like a back, it's just like a little, like a easy ass Bud Light, like easy little thing, like nothing major, nothing too strong, like just a Bud Light. And I was like, I don't like this. Like, who would drink this? This doesn't even taste good. Now I'm the complete opposite. I love beer. Beer's like one of the things I just love to drink. I just think that it legitimately tastes really good now. It's very crisp. It's got that nice, beer flavor, whether it be wheat or hops or whatever. I can't even describe it. I'm not a beer scientist. I just enjoy the flavor and the taste, and it's just like, and when it's cold, delicious. Like, it's like, when it's warm, I can't go with that shit. I can't do the full. I've heard that they drink it warm in Europe. I could never do that. I'm not sure if that's completely accurate, but like, I just don't. I would probably never touch it if it was like warm like that. But when it's chilled to perfection, amazing. And it's almost like now I don't even drink that much soda now. That's just how much I've turned. I've twisted myself. I've evolved. Like, I'll have it occasionally. Like last night I had like today at lunch I had I had a nice Pepsi, and I was like, this Pepsi's good. It tastes good. Like, it legitimately, like, it's a good can of Pepsi. It's not flat. It has a good flavor to it. Sometimes you can get a Pepsi or a Coke or any other soda that you like and just like not taste that well. This one today was really good, and I was surprised because usually when it comes to soda nowadays, I've reverted back to what I used to do when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I would never finish the soda ever. Like when I was 9 or 8. I would start a soda and just could not finish it. I don't know what it was, but I just never did. And then I became like in high school and junior high, I became a soda guy. Almost had a lot of soda. I would finish the soda. I would enjoy chugging the soda. Nowadays, it's like I'll have it and I'll finish it and that's it. Like one every week maybe. One every 2 weeks. Not that much soda. Really, really. I mean, like. And it's different though with every soda though. Like Coca-Cola and like Pepsi are my go-to because I'm a cola guy. But I think that the best soda out there, and without even question, it's not going to be a dark soda, not that Dr. Pepper bullshit, not that root beer either, or any Mountain Dew. It's Sprite. Ahead of the pack by a lot. I mean, Sprite is absolutely delicious in every way, every shape and form. I mean, you can go to get it at the store in a can or a 2-liter bottle or, just a little like 16-ounce bottle. I mean, you can get it like at McDonald's even, and it's bussin' every time. Like, it's so good every time. It's just so refreshing. It's odd because like it's like one of the like one sodas for me that I feel refreshed in. Like, I feel like I feel good. Like, you're not supposed to feel that way with soda because it's all sugar. It's not even water really. I mean, it is water based, but like, there's so little water in it. It's like, you don't feel hydrated or like refreshed with the soda, at least in my opinion. But with that, I'm like, I feel good now. And it's always got like that nice little zing to it. You get the hint of lemon and lime and the sweetness. And when it's nice and cold and fizzy and not flat though, you can't drink that shit flat. But when it's perfectly done, perfectly crafted Sprite, it is a godsend. I'll give you that, soda fans. It is a godsend. Now, I know that I just pissed off a lot of people calling Dr. Pepper trash. And I'm here to tell you that I'm not sorry about it. I know that I might have made you mad, but I'm just not sorry about it. I think that soda, that 23 flavor soda, why do you need that many flavors? What, you mean 23 chemicals? I mean, what's in that shit? Why do you need so many? And why did you have to market it that way? Like Dr. Pepper with 23 flavors, delicious flavors, all in one soda can. And it's probably not the exact ad, but that's what that was like your campaign for a while, was the 23 flavors. Well, what the fuck? Why is there so many flavors? Like, if you look on the can, I'm sure you can find like, corn syrup, sugar, cane sugar, fucking color dye 1, color dye 2, element 15. I'm just making shit up, but it's like, why is there so much shit in the soda? And I don't even like the flavor. Like, I've heard like it's like it doesn't really, Dr. Pepper doesn't really like it tell you like what it is really. Like, it's not a cola, but I believe it's like a cherry soda is what what you can generalize it as, like a flavor wise. Yeah, Dr. Pepper's like a, you got Pepsi and Coke, which are colas. Sprite is lemon lime. Mug and all that is root beer. But Dr. Pepper's like its own thing. It's like, I believe it's like a cherry soda type of thing, but I could be wrong. It just tastes like cough syrup to me, honestly, if I'm being honest with you. I don't really care for it. I know that Mountain Dew, I realized, I just like figured out like maybe like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, that Mountain Dew is a citrus drink, which I had no idea when I was younger. I thought it was just like its own thing. Like, it looked like just, green soda. That's all I thought it was. But it is more of like a citrusy drink, I believe. Like, it's got like, citrusy stuff in it, like lemons and limes and all that. Which, I thought I would tend to drag me to it, but there's just something about it. It's just so overly sweet to me that I'm just like, this cannot be any way good. Now, none of them are good for you, let's be honest with that. But this one being like this lime green, and just kids just devour it, and they can't stop devouring it. And even some people, when they get older, they get Diet Mountain Dew, like Skip Bayless cannot stop drinking Diet Mountain Dew. There's got to be something in it that I just don't want in my body that's just going to make me hell-bent and keep drinking Mountain Dew. So I just kind of like, whatever. I'm not even a big fan of the Baja Blast at Taco Bell. Mainly because I just don't really care for Mountain Dew. And, that might sound, again, sacrilegious in this, if you're a Taco Bell fan, like, you got to get Taco Bell with the Mountain Dew Baja Blast, which, to me, I'm like, I'll pass on that, man. I'll pass. Which, it's fine because they have a nice Pepsi there. And whenever I order my box from Taco Bell, I always got to get a Pepsi because their Pepsi is frankly, is just like McDonald's Coke. It's just better there. Or McDonald's Sprite. It's just better at that establishment. I don't know what it is or what they put in it, but it just tastes amazing. But also, after spieling about food that tastes good and you should eat that, you should also eat food that tastes, that's good for you. Like carrots and shit, broccoli and shit, lettuce. But the good kind of lettuce, not the bad kind, because there is bad kind. I learned that about 2 years ago, maybe 3. Apparently, iceberg lettuce is not that great for you. It's mainly water, and you shouldn't eat that much of it. You should get the romaine kind, maybe the spinach, which I have actually, come to liking, a bit here and there. Spinach isn't that bad. I don't eat it like I feel like when I eat it, though, I can't lie to you, I feel like I'm a dinosaur sometimes because it's just like fucking leaves. Like, they're actually leaves. Lettuce is a leaf of lettuce, right? But like it's so like already implanted in my brain. Like, this is a plant made for humans to eat. This is lettuce. It's like made for our consumption. Like, we could have it perfectly fine, and nothing is gonna go wrong with this. Like, if we eat a leaf off a tree, first of all, it's probably gonna taste bad. Second of all, you probably couldn't digest it that well. Just like you cannot eat grass either. You shouldn't eat leaves or grass because you can't digest them the way that a fucking cow can, or a giraffe, or a brachiosaurus back in the day. You just can't do that. So when I eat it, I'm like, this is like I'm eating fucking an actual, leaf. It's kind of funny. You eat it and like, oh my God, I'm an animal now. Well, I mean, I am an animal. Just a very smart one. But yeah, I kind of dabble into that. I've always enjoyed carrots, though. That's one I could never really, deny. Carrots are legendary. They're good. Baby, even up to adulthood, carrots are amazing. They've always just had that nice taste to me. Like, it's just like when I'm eating them, I feel like I'm healing or just like giving my eyes energy. Like, remember they said that when you were a kid, like, you want a good vision or you want to, help out your eyes, eat some carrots. I'm pretty sure that's debunked now. I'm pretty sure it is, but I still feel whenever I'm eating carrots, like, I'm helping out my eyes. I ain't gonna go blind. I ain't gonna lose my vision. I'm gonna stay perfect. Kind of like when you're drinking milk. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting my bones nice and strong and sturdy. Ain't breaking no bones today. As I say that, it sounds so childish, but trust me, it's a funner way to eat food. It's so fun. And when I'm eating greens, I'm like thinking like, okay, this is gonna be good when it comes out of me. Like I'm gonna have a nice passage of the bowels, a nice bowel movement. I'm like, this is gonna heal my insides. That's what I'm thinking when I eat healthy food. Because when you eat nothing but shit, I mean, I can only imagine that your stomach is like, I'm dying here, man. Stop eating this shit. It's hard to digest all the oils, all the fats, all the whatever they add in deliciously, tasting food, whatever, additives, flavors, and flavor enhancers, whatever, preservatives. I'm just like, what if I just give my body a nice head of lettuce? How is it going to handle it? Or with a little bit of carrots, some cucumbers, a couple croutons, make a nice salad, drizzle it with a little bit of that balsamic, because I don't want to add ranch to it because that'll just ruin the salad, right? Maybe some Italian dressing, if that's okay. Is that going to be fine? And just go to town on that. And try not to add like cheese or bacon bits or anything like that. Now, I know it's very, important to have a balanced diet of greens and meats and all that stuff. But I'm also just like, what if I just ate nothing but plants? How would my bowel movements be? Like they would be like, like a Ferrari driving through an open highway. Like that. Because sometimes when I'm eating like shit, it feels like I'm trying to move a U-Haul through LA traffic. Not all the time. But if I eat like very like heavy foods, like if I'm getting like constipated and shit, like I eat a lot of cheese and a lot of bread, a lot of starch, it's like, ugh. I mean, I'm no longer like a 15-year-old kid where I have like I can, eat anything that I want and be fine. That shit now at the age of 28, at the brass age of 28, hits you differently now. But we all kind of get there. We're all going to get there. One day eventually we'll get there. You notice that your body changes, your palate changes, your eating habits change, and you're like, I used to eat that much food back then. Times have changed. Like now I just eat one plate at dinner. One plate of dinner. That's it. I remember I used to go back for seconds, thirds, sometimes back then. Now I'm just like, I don't need that. It's fine. I'm good. I'm satisfied. You just gotta eat till you're satisfied. Being satisfied is one of the better feelings you could ever have. Because it's one to be hungry, right? When you don't eat enough. And then when you eat too much, that's actually maybe even worse. Because you straight up feel immobile. Like you can't move. Like, I don't know. You just got to find the balance. Satisfied is that balance with good food and bad. Or not so good. I wouldn't say bad. But good food, not so good food. Find the balance in the middle and go with that. That's how I always, that's how I approach food and how I approach eating. Moving on, though. Moving on. Last week, or actually this week on Monday, there was a little bit of, or actually up to that. Let me backtrack on that. If you aren't aware, Halo Infinite was coming out on December 8th. Multiplayer and campaign on the same day. Actual launch, a year delayed. It was supposed to be coming out in 2020. We all saw what happened, what they tried to sell us. We were like, no, fix it. They did. And now, reversing, fast forwarding to this Monday, 3 days ago Monday, they released the multiplayer in a form of a beta. So it's not the full multiplayer yet, but that's to come, on December 8th. But they did it anyways. And I remember I was talking to my friends and my brother, like thinking like, could this really happen? Because there was rumors, you would Google in, like, when is Halo going to come out, the release date, and it would say, no joke, November 15th. Supposed to say, should have been saying December 8th. But the day before, I think it was on a Saturday when we were talking about this, and I was like, okay, this is it's supposed to be coming out on Monday and not fucking December 8th? What's going on here? So, and that was on Saturday night, and I woke up on Sunday morning, and I was watching football, and I'm like, oh, wait, Halo's coming out tomorrow, right? So I go back on Google, and I check, and then it reverts back to December 8th. And I was like, that's weird, because I just saw a countdown yesterday. And also, I think one of my friends addressed this, that Pringles is doing like a double XP type of thing. Like you buy a can of Pringles and you get like a double XP code that you can enter in on Halo and get double XP for when you play the multiplayer. So they had a timer on that on Saturday. Sunday they took it down, and I was getting worried. I was like, wait a minute, so is this going to happen or not? And if it was going to happen, did somebody just figure it out? Because like, obviously for like companies that are going to be partnered with Halo, like Pringles, they have to know when they're going to be able to launch their product, or when they can count it down. That way they can start promoting it. That way you can go get your double XP Pringle stack and play the game, because that's just smart business, right? You got to be on the same page when it comes to marketing. And the thing with that is, when you have to market it, you lose a little bit of the the secrecy. You lose a little bit of that buildup. And I think that what happened was, somebody went digging, they found it out, and then Xbox heard about that we actually found out, like, oh shit, this was supposed to be a surprise, because if you didn't know, the 15th was the Xbox birthday, the 20-year anniversary of Xbox, which is also the 20-year anniversary of Halo. So they were going to make a big deal out of it and say, like, hey, we're going to give you the beta right now, and, all the way up until the actual launch date, when the full game comes out, with everything like campaign and the rest of the stuff for multiplayer is going to be there. So I was like, cool, let's get this going. Let's try this out. And it was real. It actually happened. We downloaded it, and I got to say, people, what a great surprise. I mean, actually, swept me off my feet. I was like thinking that it was going to happen. My friend was very like confident in it. I believed him. Then Sunday came along. Again, they took all that stuff down. I was like, maybe it's not going to happen. The next morning comes around. It happens. I'm like, just like, hell yeah. This is amazing. Like, what a surprise from 343. Like, just amazing. So that was like the entire surprise. And I got to say, man, kudos to them for doing that, because that was big. Like, they did not have to release the multiplayer beta that at all. They really didn't. I mean, everybody was already excited. We just got Battlefield released, and I mean, talk about an actual like taking the wind out of the sails of Battlefield, though. Like, I mean, come on, man, that is insane. Like, I'm sure that like EA is like, what the fuck? They're releasing their multiplayer out now. Now, granted, it's only for Xbox and PC. Like, there's no Halo on PlayStation. But still, like, what a way to take the wind out of the sails of Battlefield, man. Like, that is just, I mean, it's almost like mean in a way. Like, because, I mean, I'm going to say this, and I think that a lot of people can, agree with me when I say this, that Halo Infinite's multiplayer, even though it is a beta, is the most polished, is the better looking of Vanguard, Battlefield, and even Halo. It's like the best out of the big three games that just launched in the week span that they've been released. Like, far and wide, this game looks better, more polished, works. Server problems are very minimal. Graphically, not many glitches, not many bugs really. But I'm just like, there's a couple bugs, but it's not even that big of a deal at all. And the game is actually really, really fun. Like, I think that it's like, and I said this a couple times with my friends, I'll say it again. This might be the best Halo multiplayer that they've ever released since Halo 3. I mean, like, it's really, really good. It feels good. It plays good. The gunplay is amazing. The movement is crisp. The maps are awesome. And then the customization on the Spartans is great. Not to mention the customization on your weapons, vehicles, your AI, your calling card. Everything that they have in this beta so far, in my opinion, is just great. It's such a it's new, but it feels like I've been like it's just a better version of what we used to play when we were kids. It just feels that way. And I'm not trying to say it like, being a super fanboy, because if you remembered, I was giving 343 shit all up until like the first flight that I played, because I was generally skeptical. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't think that they would be able to pull it off. I think that their delayed was like because, they got caught trying to sell us a non-finished game. And, good for them for actually taking, owning up to that and delaying it an entire year. Yes, I was very mad about that. I think a lot of people were. A lot of people probably doubted them when that happened, including me, which I think is fairly deserved, actually. But, we move on, we live on, days go, weeks go, months go, and now we're here. And then I'm just here to say that, like, yeah, I mean, you took the time, you did it, you did the thing, and it's a great game, I think, in my opinion. I've never had this much fun with a Halo multiplayer, again, maybe since Halo 3. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy Reach, I enjoyed Bits of 4, I didn't care about 5 at all, I barely played it, the multiplayer anyways, but it's just something about this multiplayer that just drags you in, and not in a bad way either. Just it welcomes you in, not even drags you in. It welcomes you into the game, and it's like, this is Halo. This is Halo multiplayer. And I'm just like, I've never felt better playing a new Halo game than playing Halo Infinite's multiplayer. I really haven't. Now, again, the campaign is not out yet. There's some modes that are not in the beta yet that will be coming, I believe, when the game is launched, like SWAT. Like that's going to be coming soon. Forge as well. But I enjoy everything about this game so far. I really, really love it. And I'm here eating my own words. Like I said, I was not excited for it. I was worried. I had no trust in 343. I really had no trust. But now I do. And I think it's reassuring that if you take the time and the effort, now granted it took them like 6 years to make this game, maybe even more, I'm not exactly sure, but it took them a while. Granted, it took them a while, but I think that with the anticipation and the build up to it, you can tell that there was a lot of work done, and you can tell that there was a lot of feedback that was received within the community through the flights, because remember, they started doing the flights in like July, I think. Maybe even like August, June, July, in the summer. So they were already working on getting player feedback, studying what they did wrong, what they can improve on, what could they tweak. And they've been very, very, very vocal with the community, which I think is, by far and wide the best thing that they could possibly do. Because if you don't engage with the community, what kind of game are you making? You're not going to know what, players want. And yes, I do know that you are the artist, right? You make the game. It's your mission. You want to try things new. You want to innovate. You don't want to be doing the same thing over and over again. I get that. But you just got to remember that who's going to be buying your game? Who's your target audience? And I do think that with this game, which a lot of games don't really do nowadays, is they really went to get back the Halo fans. They're like, okay, we got to get our fans back. We need to get them back, because if we don't, nobody's going to play it. Nobody's going to try to play it. Nobody's going to want to, hear about it. It's just going to, fade away. It's like it never happened. Because, the game is free if you have Game Pass Ultimate. You can download it right now and play it at this moment right now. You can do that. So is the campaign. You can also buy it too. Like, don't get me wrong. You can buy the game. But I think what they're doing is they're betting on people playing it, it being free on Game Pass Ultimate, word of mouth, and that to like get into the zeitgeist and for people to talk about it. And I think it's working, because I've been on Twitter, I've been on Reddit, I've been scrolling through the community. Pretty much everybody unanimously likes this game. At least likes it. At least they're having fun with it. It feels like Halo again. And it truly is like, I mean, I feel like it's just like, it feels so good. It really does. It feels like it's always should have been like this, where it went away in a little bit in Reach, It was still Halo, it was still Bungie, but it was just like the armor abilities, the not really wanting to commit to the sprint, the game modes. I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Reach, but I still think that this is the best multiplayer that Halo's had since Halo 3. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding, because I do think that Halo 3's multiplayer is in fact better than Reach's. I really do. Story, maybe not. Or actually, no. Halo 3's campaign is my favorite campaign, but not by much is Halo Reach's. That one's also a banger. But yeah, Halo's back. It's exciting. Not only that, did we get that though? We got our very first look at the Paramount Plus series Halo. All 20 seconds of it. That was it. Just 20 seconds and boop, we're done. And I wasn't mad about it. I was just like, really? 20 seconds? I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked what I saw. I mean, if you didn't see it, it's just you get to see Master Chief's helmet, like from the front. Like not a full view, right? But like a good view that you can tell, like, oh, this looks pretty good. I mean, I like the design. I mean, you can't really judge it. You don't see the entire suit, but from what I saw, I enjoyed what I saw. I mean, all 20 seconds, I'm like, this is a good 20 seconds. That's all I can say. And I know is like, Alex, it's not that much. But you don't understand, man. This was rumored to be a movie back before District 9 with Peter Jackson. I believe. When did that come out? I believe District 9 was in 2008 or 2009, I think. But even before that, it was going to be the movie with Peter Jackson and Neil Blomkamp, but they made District 9 instead. Then at the Xbox One conference, they had Steven Spielberg on back in 2013 to, introduce the Halo TV series. I don't even know if he's still a part of it now. I mean, I think Emblem is, which is his production company, but he's probably just like in the background, But now it's actually coming out in 2022. No date yet, but I assume it can't be like that far off. I mean, they've been shooting this for it feels like they've been shooting this series for like 2 years, I think. I know with the pandemic and all that, I kind of halted it for a bit, but they were shooting quite a bit before that. I believe that they were. But this is going to be coming out next year. We still don't have a lot of it. Again, we only have 20 seconds, which is, it's something, but it's not that much, though. I mean, I would like more at this point. I'm, like, salivating. Like, I just want to see what they have to offer. But, I'll wait, I guess. I'll wait. But, yeah, it was a good day for Halo fans, for sure. A good day, because Halo fans have been, that fan base is so passionate, and it's, they deserve a lot. They love that franchise. Halo in the gaming world, if you're a Halo fan, you're either, like a fellow Halo fan, or you're like, you guys still exist? Like, you guys still play Halo? You still care about Halo? It's like, yeah, man, we do. Halo's badass, man. Halo's got probably the most interesting universe in all of gaming. Like, I don't think any other universe or world comes close to it. Maybe Skyrim, maybe Elder Scrolls, but like, nah, Halo is super interesting, science fictiony. It's really cool, and the fact that they haven't made much stuff with it, besides like 8 games and like a couple spin-off games and like now a show, it's like we can see the full potential of Halo, through gaming, storytelling, multiplayer. And now TV is coming. It's going to be a good year for Halo when it comes out, and in 2022 with a show. I mean, I just hope that it's good. I really do. I just want it to be a solid show. I mean, the tone from the 20 seconds was like more darker than I think most Halos, but that's fine for me. I'm all in. I mean, this is supposed to be about like an intergalactic war with humanity's last hope being the Chief, and facing a fucking foe like the Covenant, who's so much more advanced than humanity. It's like, yeah, this has got to be dark. I mean, like, we're on the brink of destruction, of extinction for humanity. Like, yeah, it's got to be like that. Anyways, excited about that. Really excited for the game as well. And I just can't wait for that. in the midst of that all happening, a couple days ago, I was out picking up pizza at a local pizzeria, which I love, by the way. And I had totally forgot that the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer was going to be coming out that day. And as I was waiting for my pizza to be, done so I can take it home, I was browsing Twitter and I saw a frame from the trailer, which had already been out by now. And I was like, oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. It was a frame of the Green Goblin. I was like, oh, I don't even want to watch it now, man. Like, I don't know what happened to me. Like, I ended up watching it, obviously, but, like, I was just like, man, I didn't want to see that yet. I wanted to wait for the trailer. Come on, man. This is, like, look, at this point, if you don't know what's happening with that movie, then you've been living under a rock. But at the same time, I want to experience it in the format that it's been made to experience, whether that be a trailer or even the damn movie itself, right? Like, I'm not gonna, I don't want to find remember I was talking about, I think it was last week about the Spider-Man leaks that were coming out? Like, I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see, a pixely fucking image or anything like that. I want to see it how it was supposed to be seen, right? Like a trailer, the trailer as a trailer, or the damn movie itself. When I'm sitting there with a fucking bucket of corn, a soda, and, in IMAX. That's when I want to see it. But yeah, so the discussion of the trailer. Now, I'm happy to report that it actually didn't show as much as I thought it would. Thank Christ. Because I was going to be like, I liked everything that I saw. I enjoyed it all. They're going big on this, by the way. I mean, they're getting everybody in it. They have Doc Ock. They got Green Goblin. They got another Green Goblin, from what people are saying in the trailer. They have Sandman, Electro, Lizard, and who else? Who am I forgetting? I think that's all. I think that might be it, at least from the trailer. But this is going to be a massive movie, man. Massive movie. Like, with all the people that are going to be in it, man, this might be bigger than the Avengers. Like, this might be, actually, no, but it might be more popular than the Avengers, because the Avengers has all these was a big build up and all that, and it had all these characters and all that, but it still needed the time to build all that up and get it to be able to make a good movie. This one, however, doesn't have the build up at all, but it is still going to be bigger because there's so many people that just love Spider-Man in general, and the fact that they could put in Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and his bad guys and their bad guys. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, this is going to be gigantic. This is going to be a massive movie. And thank God, thank Christ, that it's only going to be in theaters. Thank you, God. Because there is no shot. And I remember, after when they first did, what was it? Eternals, I think. Wait, was it Shang-Chi? I think it was Shang-Chi. It might have been Shang-Chi. I think Shang-Chi was not on Disney Plus when it came out, which is a good thing because, fuck that simultaneous streaming, or same-day streaming, my bad. I hate that shit. It's not good for the business. But this one, people are just going to flock to the theaters for this. I mean, this is going to be the movie, I truly believe, that will save the theaters. That's going to save them because, listen, I mean, as much as I enjoyed every movie that I've seen, the theaters have been pretty vacant still. There's still a lot of seats available. But I think with this one, and I actually hope that with this one, it just brings floods of people back. Because that's what it needs. It's going to need this boost. And I think that every theater company, all the studios are going to be super happy that this movie is coming out at that time, December 17th. It's going to be massive. I can't fucking wait. I mean, I'm still worried that it's how the movie will be, just because it's a lot of stuff to balance. It's even more than Eternals. I mean, you got the 3 Spider-Men, maybe even more if we think about it. If we really do get Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, and Tobey, that's going to be even bigger like nostalgic wise, bigger than the Avengers Infinity War or Endgame, in my opinion, just because of the nostalgia factor. Like that's just gonna put a smile on so many people's faces. It's really gonna be this movie's gonna be massive, and just seeing that in IMAX, if they get revealed, if they don't, because we still don't know officially if they're gonna be in it, even though I feel like they are. The more I just see, I think about that trailer, I just feel like they have to be there. If they're not in there, that's gonna be a gigantic miss. And if they're in there for like, even if they're for like 10 minutes, it's still gonna be massive. But yeah, I'm super excited. I cannot wait for this movie to come out. Just because I just want to experience that. Because I know it's gonna be crazy. I know it's gonna be insane. I still don't really know how the movie, like, who's the main bad guy? I mean, are they all just the bad guys? Is somebody like controlling them or something? Like, what's their motivation? They just want to beat up Spider-Man again? Like, and if that, do they succeed? Is Spider-Man gonna be over? What happens with the other villains? The other Spider-Men? Are they gonna be in the MCU forever now? Like, what's gonna happen with that? Do they reverse everything and just like say, okay, we won? Or are they gonna have like long-lasting implications, like in the future MCU movies? Like, what if we get a Spider-Man movie down the road with all three of them, just being, their movies? Like, what if we get Marvel Cinematic Universe movies with Tobey and Andrew? What if that continues? It probably won't, but seeing that, why would Marvel not continue doing something that's making them so much more money? You know what I'm saying? Like them putting them, Tobey and Andrew back in, and it's like they bring in, it becomes like the biggest movie ever made, right? Like it crushes, Endgame, it crushes Avatar, and it makes the most money ever. They're not gonna just say like, okay, that was fun, bye Tobey, bye Andrew. No way, no how, bro. Now, whether that be a movie or a Disney Plus series, I don't know, but I'm just saying, I don't think that they're gonna let them go that easily. I think that they opened a can of worms that they don't want to close. I really, really do. Because they pretty much have everything now, if you think about it. They're going to have Fantastic Four. They're going to bring back the X-Men. I mean, face it, man. I'm bored of the Avengers squad that they have now. I'm bored of Hawkeye. I'm bored of Thor. I'm bored of Hulk. Now, if you bring in the other Spider-Men, throw them with the X-Men, throw them with the Fantastic Four, you got me back in. With the Eternals there, too? You got me back in, Marvel. You got me back in. I'm coming back. I'll be like at the ticket booth. I'm coming back. I'm all in. But yeah, but that's just a theory, though. I'm not even really an actual theory. It's just a thought. Like what that? I mean, I just don't see them stopping using something that makes them money like that. I just don't see it. I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but it'd be very stupid of them not to continue making movies with them. It would be very, very dumb, I think, in my opinion. Because Disney pretty much owns like almost every branch of Marvel now, except for the Sonyverse, which they're still trying to buy from Sony because they want to be everything Marvel. Everything Marvel. I mean, every universe, every character, everything. But I think that it could happen. As long as they keep expanding the characters, making it interesting, stop doing the formulaic movies, which I think that they are going to do with this one, and they already did it in Eternals, and make it more interesting. I mean, like I said, I might be back. I might be back. But that's just that. That's going to be, again, December 17th. Can't fucking wait. Theater only. IMAX. Ooh, I'm in. All right, now for everybody's favorite topic, everybody's favorite segment, we're back to the NFL. Week 10 just completed. A better week, in my opinion, than Week 9. Week 9 was kind of a shit show. I mean, well, in the fact that first of all, my fantasy team won this week. Thank Christ. Now I'm actually in the hunt for the playoffs. I could make some moves, but, seeing what happened with Matthew Stafford, who is my starting quarterback, my backup is Russell Wilson, I might need to make a trade or something. I mean, like, in the future, because Russell Wilson is just, that last game that they had, that he played in, they were just out of sync. But I'll get to them. First of all, we start in Thursday Night Football. The Ravens lose to the Dolphins 10-22. This was an absolute shit show by the Ravens. The Dolphins played them like they actually gave a shit. With the dual quarterback threat of Tua Tagovailoa and Jacoby Brissett, which, good for the Dolphins. Whatever works, man. Just keep doing it, right? The Ravens also played like absolute garbage, though. It's like it was very uncharacteristic. It was very pathetic. It felt like they thought that they could just walk in there and win. Obviously, that's just not going to happen in the NFL. I'm sorry to say that to every team that tries to do that. But you got to remember that the Dolphins were 2-7. They're playing for everything that they have right now. Their contracts, the reputation, tape for maybe other teams that might want to sign them. They are playing for their lives right now. So don't try to walk in and be like, let's just fucking beat this team and move on, whatever. It's just not going to happen with an NFL team that's desperate. You always got to be aware of those teams, because when they are desperate, they will claw and scratch and chew their way out of that game. And they did. Even though they won by 12 points, it certainly felt like it was more of a battle than the score led on to be, because it was, the first half was like pretty painful, because the Dolphins are very competent. They don't have a lot of talent, but again, the desperation kicks in. You don't want to fucking lose that many games. It's depressing. It's demoralizing. It's bad for morale in general. So I can see that score makes complete sense to me now that I see it. Before that, I would not have said that. I would have been like, the Dolphins, the Ravens are so much better than the Dolphins. They should not, let this get away from them, but they did. And that's just the beauty of the game. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day. It's just going to happen. The Cowboys spank the Falcons 43-3. This is just a response to, we got beat by who last week? The Broncos. Oh, this can't continue. So they just destroyed the Falcons. Destroyed. The Falcons weren't even competitive in this game at all. It was so sick. They had one field goal in the first quarter, and then zeros across the board for the next 3 quarters. It was just so painful to watch, and you thank God Red Zone didn't have this game that often, because it was just such a shit show. Dak went off, CD Lamb went off, and it was a recipe for disaster for the Falcons, because they went up against Dan Quinn's defense, who was the coach before they fired him. And it was just like a revenge game for Dan Quinn. You can tell he was just we're not going to lose to these guys because they're the Falcons. But also last week we lost to the Broncos, which is just an absolute embarrassment. And they're like, we can't keep continuing this. We got to do better. And they did. The Saints lose to the Titans 21-23. The Titans might be, as much as I don't buy them, I don't buy Ryan Tannehill as a actual elite quarterback. They can still get away with they can grind out their games, man. They could make it harder on you. They could, with the pieces that they have Adrian Peterson, who's, he's older, but he's getting the job done. You think about it. The Titans aren't they're certainly very good. They're not great yet. The record shows that they're 8-2, which is pretty miraculous. But they just beat the Saints without Jameis Winston, right? They had Trevor Siemian. So, that already wasn't going to be a very good matchup in the first place. The Saints are not a good team, really. They're very average. They're just hanging on by a thread. And the Titans are better, and they will win. They should win, and they did win. That's just what it boils down to. I don't know how long that the Saints can go with just Trevor Siemian at the quarterback. They tried Taysom Hill. He was pretty awful. They didn't use him all that much, but it was just I feel like Sean Payton is just more clueless than he is confident when he has Trevor and Taysom Hill. Sometimes I feel like he just coaches himself into a wall. What do I do here? I'm confused. Let's just run it with Taysom Hill. And then it just absolutely backfires, and it's just bro, what kind of play was that? What were you thinking there? And it's almost like he's beating himself up when he has this Taysom and Trevor Siemian battle for the quarterback. I don't know. It just feels, it's so weird. I don't like it. The Colts beat the Jags 23-17. The Jags were in it for a while, but the Colts are just a better team overall. They are now 5-5. They've clawed their way back. Carson Wentz did okay. He did 22 for 34, 180 yards, no touchdowns, but he did the job. They were fine. The Jaguars kind of reverted back to their reckless play, just chucking the ball with Trevor Lawrence and him getting picked off a bunch. I seriously doubt this is well, he didn't get picked off, but he just had a very bad completion stat. He went 16 for 35, 162 yards, no picks, no touchdowns, but it was just let's fucking make him sling it, and hopefully they catch it, which is just not the case. You can't do that with the defense, with that kind of defense on the Colts in the NFL. You just can't do that. It's like this guy Urban Meyer is just let's just have him throw it. They'll catch it. No, this isn't fucking the college football defensive backs. These are NFL backs who actually cover people. And there's not as many blown coverages as there is in fucking college. If you go back to if you just watch college football, there are so many times when fucking receivers are just wide open because college defenses fucking suck. They're that bad. You don't think that they are, but they are. That receiver's so good, he's getting so wide open. No, that defense is just bad. They can't cover. That's why the fucking games are 6-42 at the end of the game, because they're that bad. I mean, it's very hard to compare the play of the NFL to college football. It's just pretty much non-comparable. So if you want to be he got this many receptions at Texas Tech, it's stop. That's just not even comparable, man. Those are amateurs, right? That aren't all going to go to the NFL. They're not all going to go to the NFL. Let's just be honest with you there. And these guys are professionals. They're playing for a paycheck, their reputation, maybe to seen by other teams. They're playing for themselves, really, more than the team. Don't get me wrong, they play for the team, but they also got to remember that they got to think about their career here, where if they want to make it a long career or a short career. Can I continue being in the NFL and getting my fucking, tackled and shit, taken down all this time, and can I afford all these injuries? What's going on here? It's very different. Much, much different. You got to just put that into perspective. The Browns lose to the Patriots 7-45. The Patriots might be good. The Browns had a good first drive, but other than that, they just kind of phased away. And it's just weird because it's I did not expect Mac Jones to be performing this good. But then I thought, wait a minute. He wasn't terrible in college. Wasn't terrible. But now that he has Bill Belichick, he might become elite now. Because Mac Jones seems he's very level-headed, doesn't speak all that much. He's kind of quiet. He kind of just does his job. And that is exactly what Bill Belichick wants, is somebody to just do their job and do it properly. And I think that if they give him more freedom with the offense, which they are continuing to, let him do, not as many checkdowns, not as many deep balls as they used to be. Now there's more. But I think that now, since you've been able to develop him and get him comfortable with that offense and that playbook, now he can really just sling it. And I think now we're seeing that he can take advantage when he needs to. I mean, he went 19 for 23, 198 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, not a lot of yards, but he's still. I mean, he's complete. His completion percentage is amazing, especially for the rookie quarterbacks. He just takes care of the ball. He's smart with it, and that's part of him, and also just the coaching of Bill Belichick. They're surprising me. I mean, they're not the Bills yet, but they could be threatening to the Bills, I think, which is the next game we're going to talk about. The Bills beat the Jets 45-17, an absolute rout. I mean, they were kind of competitive in the first. Actually, no, they weren't competitive at all. I was wrong. But yeah, I mean, this just reassures that the Bills are, right now still the kings of the AFC East until they face the Patriots, and we'll see what happens then. But yeah, they looked better. They had to win because they lost to Jacksonville the week before, which was a game that they should be forgetting that, because it's just very uncharacteristic of the Bills, just not their football style. Kind of just like it was very loose and very not tight and just free flowing and just like non-disciplined. And this one was just much better execution, better play calling. They utilized Josh Allen. He went off. He had 21 for 28, 366 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, Stephon Diggs had 8 receptions, 162 yards, and a touchdown. Thank God he's on my fantasy team. Thank God. Thank Christ. But yeah, I mean, like, this is what you get when you game plan right. When you utilize and take advantage and, actually beat a pretty mediocre team. Now, the Jags are also very mediocre. Let's get that straight. I mean, even though that they lost to the Jags, they're still mediocre. But I guess if you want to make a, comparison on the mediocre scale, maybe the Jets are more mediocre than the Jaguars. I don't know. I mean, that just might be my opinion. But I just feel like if you're going to have a mediocre scale, at the very bottom has got to be, well, first of all, the Lions are the most mediocre. Then maybe the Jets, and then the Jags. There's just something about the Jags. I mean, they do have Trevor Lawrence. They can't be, worse than, they just can't be worse because of Trevor Lawrence. Even though that he's not that great right now, and he's still a rookie quarterback. But, I mean, like, what happened to Mike White this week, man? Mike White, what the fuck happened to you, bro? You were talking up a big game and shit that you should have been a first-round draft pick. You should have been the number 1 overall pick, saying all this shit, and I didn't buy into it, but, like, some people did. Some people were like, this guy's legit. And then look what happened. Look what happened. He went 24 for 44 with 4 interceptions. I mean, dude, that game just cost you your career, bro. That's it. It's over. You could have been a solid backup to Zach Wilson. You could have been. But then you talked up your game. You felt disrespected. And then you come out. Now, granted, it was the Bills. I'll give you that. You did face the Bills' defense. But to throw 4 picks like that, like, no, you're pulling Sam Darnold numbers now. You're like Sam Darnold now. You can't do that. That's not allowed. You hyped yourself up too much, bro. That's where you did yourself in. But yeah, the legend of Mike White is now over. He is now going to be replaced by Joe Flacco, who's coming back. I mean, you got to believe that this is just because of the experience factor. Like, he's actually played in the NFL, and he can complete a couple passes and maybe get you a win when Zach Wilson is still out, which I still think Zach Wilson, I mean, he could be easily just, we forget about him the more times he doesn't start. Like, I don't see that guy being like a thing at all next year. If I really think about it, I see the Jets like probably picking up or signing an old veteran quarterback like a PJ Walker, or I can see them even like fucking picking up like a fucking Taylor Heineke and forgetting about Zach Wilson. That's just how unmemorable that guy is. He is so unmemorable in anything that he's ever done in the NFL. I forgot about that guy. And I think a lot of Jets fans have forgot about that guy too. Like, who's on our bench? Zach Wilson? Oh, we drafted him like the number 2, right? Think about that. Like, he could be just just a figment of our imagination by next season. That's how much I remember or I think about that guy, or even like care about that guy. The Lions tie the Steelers 16-16 in the most unattractive game of all time. I mean, Big Ben got the COVID. He had to sit out, and they had Mason Rudolph, who was also terrible. And if you can't find a way to beat a winless team in the Detroit Lions, something is wrong with that team. Now, I know the whole desperate factor kicks in again at this point. They were 0-8. Now they're 0-8-1. But still, Dan Campbell went 0-16 with the Lions, I think. He was on track to be 0-17. He still might break the record, or he might make a new record. He could still go 0-16-1, which would be a new record in the NFL. Now, he missed out on 0-17, but he could be 0-16-1, which would still be very impressive in terms of new records in the NFL, or new milestones or a new thing like that. But yeah, if you're the Steelers, I mean, you got to be kicking yourself in the foot because that was actually a fucking terrible tie. Terrible tie. Change it from a terrible towel to a terrible tie because that was terrible. It was just terrible. I mean, they're 5-3-1. They're not out yet. There's still a lot of games to play, but it's just and the Browns are sucking. The Ravens lost too, so you got some room to work with here, Pittsburgh. You really do. But it just shows you how little the depth at quarterback they have. I mean, Mason Rudolph is he's just very mediocre and average. There's nothing special about that guy. He's not the guy that you're like, he's a franchise builder. Who are we going to build around Mason Rudolph? The answer is nobody. You shouldn't want that guy. Because if he can't beat a Lions team and put up a performance like he did, 30 for 50, right, just slinging the ball and 242 yards, 1 touchdown, I agree that Jared Goff was no better. In fact, he was a lot worse. 14 for 25, 114 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. How are you not beating him? He's not even throwing the ball. He's barely on the field. And you still can't beat them. The ending of that overtime was just so pathetic. Andrew Siciliano was so embarrassed that he was on red zone. He was just so embarrassed that they were going to that game, and like just the madness and the stupidity. And it's just like there's 2 types of overtime games. 2 types of overtime games. One you should be excited about when there's a high scoring game and the defenses suck, but the offense is also great. And then another one when it's like, oh yeah, they just couldn't fucking score on each other and it's going to be a bad overtime. It's going to be terrible. And unfortunately, we got that one. And when you see it, you're like, maybe we should have just ended it there. Maybe we shouldn't have gone through overtime with that. That was a little too much. They got a little too much airtime. That was not deserved. That was bad for America. That was bad for America right there. That was a disgrace. We should never have that again. If it's those teams or if it's bad teams, you automatically get, you cannot do overtime because you don't deserve it. That'll never happen, but that'll be funny if it did. Like, well, we're going overtime. Yeah, we're still tied. Like, no, you don't deserve it. This game is shit. Nobody cares. Fuck you. You're not going to score. Bye. Now, that is very harsh. I'm sorry, Steelers. I'm sorry, Lions fans. But, I mean, like, if you're going to pull that shit in the NFL, get the fuck out. I mean, take a week off. Take another bye. You guys both need it, clearly. The Buccaneers lose to the Washington football team, 19-29. Buccaneers are in a bit of trouble. They're in a bit of trouble. This game was like, it's like we flash forward 5 years when Tom Brady was actually going to be bad. But it happened in this game. The dude was bad in this game. Really bad. Taylor Heineke beat him. I mean, and this is the Washington football team defense that has never shown up, that has never been, had the full potential. Now, which sucks now because Chase Young, I think, is done for the season, I believe. I mean, I'm not sure if it was an ACL or what, but when he went out of the game, it did not look good. It was not good. It was. I mean, he clearly was very deflated, and he was very. Yeah, it was. It was a torn ACL, so he's done, which is very sad because he was like the face of that defense, and yeah, just a shame. But like, Tom Brady was bad. He went 23 for 34, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, but like just like. It was late hurry-up football. Like, they were behind, they had a score, and when you're down by that many points, I don't care if it's a bad team, except if it's the Lions. If it's a bad team and you need to hurry up and get points on the board, chances are you're going to fuck up and throw picks and not convert and just run out of time. And that's what happened with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They just ultimately did not have they just were out of sync and not playing well enough, and just like they couldn't convert the ball, and just unfortunately ran out of time and just couldn't do anything. It was very sad. It didn't look like Tom Brady was all the way there. Not like back last year with the fourth down Tom Brady, but it was just like, what's going on here? It looks like a couple steps behind everybody else, and it was just bad. The Panthers beat the Cardinals 34-10. Cam Newton returned. He had a running touchdown to begin, and then a passing touchdown, which was not that long of a pass, but still a passing touchdown. He looked good. He might be starting next week, I believe, or this coming week. But it just shows you that the Cardinals need Kyler Murray back, because Colt McCoy just couldn't do anything against this team, and they had no business in being that good. That defense had no business being that good. But again, the offense for the Cardinals, they need Kyler Murray. Colt McCoy just doesn't have it in him to beat another team. He's been known to beat a couple teams when he comes in to start, but you can't rely on the guy. And I believe that they might. I believe that this week they might not start Kyler because the following week they have a bye. They might just save him up and just say, you know what, Colt, just try it again. Just try to win. But I don't know. I think that they have a pretty good position in the NFC West, so I think they're fine there. They probably don't really need to care all that much about the record-wise, because the Rams lost and the 49ers are clawing back in, and the Seahawks actually suck this year, so they might just keep him out, because, I think I would. That's a smarter decision there. Just keep him out. If it's really that bad, just give him some time. The Vikings beat the Chargers 27-20. The Vikings are still, I feel like they're still lingering around. I feel like that division is going to be pretty tight coming to the end. The Packers, they won again. They're good again. But I just feel like the Vikings, they're definitely the number 2 team in that division. But I don't think they have enough to beat the Packers, in the future. This game, again, was just it was like a punking of the Chargers. They didn't need to. They certainly should have won the game. But the fact that the Vikings came in and beat them is kind of funny, because I just don't trust any team that has Kirk Cousins on it. I just don't think that he doesn't play football or play the position of the quarterback, to me, that well, in the way that I would want him to play. He's very conservative with the ball. He's very a short pass guy. He's not a really, threat in otherwise, but I don't know. I just feel I don't know. He did have a couple bumps to Justin Jefferson, which was good, but besides that, they got lucky to win this game, because the Chargers just they're having an identity crisis. They don't really know that the run game is great, and they don't continue to do that. They try to do everything else but that. In the meantime, they can't stop the run. So it's and when you have a back like Dalvin Cook, it's just going to be tougher. You can't try to, score points in other ways and then hope to, throw up a prayer that we can stop them enough times that way we can win. No, that's just, you're not playing the game that well. It's not smart football. Continuing, the Eagles beat the Broncos 30-13. The Eagles are on a bit of a stride here. Got a little bit of momentum. I still think that they can't win the division at all because of the Cowboys. But yeah, they look better. The Broncos, they did beat the Cowboys, but this game was how the fuck do you lose to the Eagles? I just feel that the Eagles are just still kind of treading water in the Atlantic Ocean. They're treading, they're fine. If unfortunate, they might run out of gas and just start to drown, but they're treading right now. They're fine right now. Everything's fine at the moment. But we'll see. I don't know. I still don't trust that team that much. The Packers beat the Seahawks 17-0. Again, like I said, this is not a very good sight to see when Russell Wilson just has a game like he had. He was pretty bad. I'm pretty sure that the finger is good, but the interceptions that he threw were pretty, like, those were like his mental decisions. Like, he saw it and was like, oh, I'll throw it. I don't know if it was like because he had to take that throw or make that throw, but it just felt like, what are you doing, bro? Like, that guy is, like, you shouldn't be throwing that ball there. Like, that's just not a good decision. That's actually terrible. And then meantime, fucking Aaron Rodgers comes back, gets picked off, no TDs, but they still fucking managed to win the game and not let fucking Seattle score, which is, that's always the worst, right? When the quarterback barely does anything good, like no touchdowns, a pick, like I said, and just they blank the Seahawks. Like the Seahawks, I've always like kind of said like when the Seahawks are like 2-3, like they could be good, that they're still good. They're just not completely healthy, or they're not putting it all together yet. No, now that they're 3-6, I can confidently say that they're a bad team now. They're a bad team. Russell being back didn't really do much, but the whole DK Metcalf situation, just getting ejected at that, at the dying moments of the game, it's like, why, dude? Why are you doing that? Like, there's no reason for you to fucking yell like that and get just ejected because of, I don't even, like, you just grabbed the guy's face mask and just like yanked it and shit. Like, that doesn't need to happen. That's just being immature and not being in the moment. Like, you're gonna lose. Just take the loss. Don't do anything stupid to fucking give yourself a penalty. Maybe get ejected from the next game. Don't do that. It's very stupid and immature. Moving on. A couple more games left. And we'll be out of here. Let's see. The Chiefs beat the Raiders 41-14. This was an absolute, clowning, I think, of from the Chiefs. The Chiefs had no business winning this game, let's be honest with you. They were trending down, even though that they kept winning. They kept just getting by and getting away with it and just doing their thing. And let's be honest, the turn of the tide was when Deshaun Jackson decided to cut back and run sideways and get the ball punched out of him. If that guy just kept running straight, he already beat the defender. If he just kept running straight, they would have scored that touchdown and probably not have lost that momentum. But since that happened, he decides to stop, cut to the left, get it punched out, and then fumble, they recover, and then they go on and score. Exactly that is why, I think, why they lost that game. They could have won easily, but that was just so deflating, and it was such a monumental change in the momentum of the game. And then you get Patrick Mahomes going 35 for 50, 406 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He certainly had a breakout game. I mean, it was the Raiders, so we'll see if that continues. But I mean, if you're Patrick Mahomes, you're like, I needed that so bad. I needed that. Thank you, Raiders. Thank you so much. But yeah, lesson learned, kids. Do not model your play. If you're gonna be a receiver, do not model your play after Deshaun Jackson, because you will just fail every time. I mean, I remember back when he was on the Eagles, and then during that time, the Washington football team back then, he has this habit of just trying to be so flashy, and like doing high stepping and trolling and slowing down the runs and just not getting in the end zone and just, trying to drag it out, running sideways and all that. He's always done that. And it's always, surprised me, like, what if he's not, what if he does that prematurely? And this year we've seen it with the Rams and now with the Raiders that he still does that, and he's just not going to stop doing it. That's just his thing, to troll, to high step, to run sideways, do stupid things after the catch, and just, it coming back to bite him in the ass. And I won't be surprised if after this year that nobody picks him up next year, because he's been doing that for years. I'm pretty sure his coaches have been like, dude, don't do this. Just run to the end zone. Run as fast as you can. Don't fucking high step. Don't troll the player. Don't run sideways. Don't do stupid cuts that you don't need to. Just go forward. There's so many plays in football when you watch. If the guy just ran forward, he would first of all get the first down, which is what you see a lot of the times. Is like they want to cut around, juke them, run sideways, and try to run around. But it's like, bro, these defenders, these defensive players in the NFL they're better. They're not dumb. They're actually really quick, and they can read your fucking route pretty easily. So quit doing that. Lesson learned, kids. Do not model your play, your game, after Deshaun Jackson. Just don't do it. You won't play much. And then, lastly, to break my heart, the Rams lose to the 49ers 10-41, or 31 actually. And an absolute thing where I'm just scratching my head and looking at this team like, what happened there? Why did we look so stupid against a 49er team that, for one, they had George Kittle back, which was expected. I mean, he was going to play good. And then to see that, first of all, Matthew Stafford just threw 2 picks, back-to-back, pretty much in back-to-back drives, I think. And they were pretty bad, really bad. He also crossed the line of scrimmage and threw the ball, which is that's such a college level, high school level error to do, and he did it. I was like, what are you, just run and commit. It's going to be better than fucking taking the penalty. What are you doing, man? Watching that game was just so, it was just so deflating because, I hope that Matthew Stafford is better than that. And I hope that that game was not just a fluke. I hope that it was just a fluke and not just a thing he's reverting back to his lion self. But I was just what is happening here? And he didn't look very confident on the sideline either. He looked very pissed off. They barely played Odell Beckham Jr., which was insane because he did nothing for them really. Let me see if I can find his stats. He had 2 receptions for 18 yards. Meanwhile, you got Cooper Kupp, who had 11 receptions and 122 yards. So I'm confused of how they're utilizing these new signings. Von Miller didn't look all that good either. Odell was not very good. I'm just and again, we just got these guys, so they don't have the best camaraderie, the best chemistry. So that's going to be an issue that we got to fix. And if you're the 49ers, you're oh, finally we got our players back. You got Deebo Samuel fucking going off, George Kittle going off, and Jimmy Garoppolo looking pretty good. I've heard nothing from Trey Lance, him coming back. So I wonder if that was just a botched first-round pick. I don't know if he's ever going to play football. Honestly. Jimmy G's, if he's doing his job, I know he went 15 for 19, 182 yards, and 2 touchdowns, which is, and when you win, it's fine. But if you lose, it's what's going on here? They ended up winning, so that can all wash away. We don't got to talk about that. But yeah, the Rams needed this game. They did. If they didn't get it, they would have been in bigger trouble. But we're not in first place of our division. That's still Arizona. They could lose this coming up week if they don't start Kyler, which I believe that they won't because they have a bye next week. So we'll see about that. The Rams do have a bye this week. Thank God we need it. We need Odell and Matthew Stafford breakfast sessions because this is just gonna be dumb. It's we signed this guy. It's all hype and everything. LeBron's hyped, and then you just lay an egg. It's what was the point of this? We have no first round picks for the next 5 years, pretty much. We have none. We're this win now mentality where we're gonna shoot ourselves in the foot and not being able to build for the future because Matthew Stafford is not young anymore. He's maybe 33, I think 34. He's no longer a young quarterback. So we're losing. We're going to be losing, some players within the coming years. So you can tell that they're going all in right now to win a Super Bowl, but it's just I'm not sure if that's the best method, especially with having no draft picks. That's very concerning to me, very extremely concerning for me. That is going to do it for this week, folks. That is going to be it. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Again, if you can find this podcast at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast, and you can listen, you can rate, review, like and comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your families. Tell everybody to come listen every Thursday morning at 6 a.m. The Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva drops. And I hope you'll have, a good week, rest of your week. I hope you, next episode will be dropping on Thanksgiving. So I hope everybody has a good build up to the Thanksgiving. I hope everybody has a good holiday week. I know that there will be an episode on Thursday, so no days off, whatever, So that'll be on there. That'll be there. There's no excuses. I will have an episode next Thursday ready for you. So I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their week and have a good weekend. And I will see you guys next week.